mean, you know, I don't really go there as much now as I used to. Can't afford it. Like when I started in the 80s, just 7 hours in a DJ box ain't nothing to me. That's what we did.
What are your 3 most favourite tracks?
It's like your children, isn't it? Which ones you choose?
It's like your 3 favourite girlfriends, isn't it? There's an old saying as well, the only way to make a little bit of money in Ibiza is to go there with a lot.
Welcome to the Ibiza Hall of Fame podcast with myself, Clara, and here with Big Al. Today we have a real treat, a true pioneer of the British club culture, one of the architects of Ibiza's magic. He also was the co-founder of The Trip, a club night where he brought the Balearic sound back to the UK dance floors. His music on dance music history is undeniable. It's an honour to please welcome a true Ibiza Hall of Fame icon. Please welcome Nicky Holloway.
Hello,
hey, Nicky!
You can keep going, you can do more if you want, I'm enjoying that. No one's ever been that nice to me.
All right. It's the truth, Nick, it's the truth.
Welcome to the Ibiza Hall of Fame.
Good to see you, Al.
Yeah, good to see
Long
you.
time. Yeah, you're all right? You're looking well.
Feeling a bit better.
Yeah, I'll be interviewing him by the end of this. I'll be asking him what about it.
So yeah, it's a privilege to have you with us. You have a lot of history with your music, with Ibiza, with the club scene, with the rave scene, with acid house, with all of it.
It's good to say, I mean, this face has had a lot of wear. It said this big old nose has had its in a few pies. Yeah, it's been sticking it into lots of things over the years, and I don't know, that sounds terrible, but do you know what I mean? I've had my fingers in a few pies.
I actually give
from the soul scene right through the house thing, and I'm still playing now. So
I always give you credit, Nicky, for being the only other person in Ibiza to do parties when I started back in the late 80s.
Yeah, I mean,
you're the only other one who was out
it's
there.
mad to think of it like that. No one took people over there like we did. We ain't without 86, you know, like 300 people, you know. Like, and there was more. That was more of a soul thing then, you know. It was more of a soul. Yeah, it was just before the start of the house explosions.
87, 88 was the sort of explosion, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
but you know what it's like with the beef. It's like no one goes once. No one ever goes there once, do they?
We just keep getting dragged back, don't you?
Yeah, it's just like I have this sort of weird love-hate relationship with the beef.
I've never hated it, I must say. I've only ever loved it.
Oh, do you know what? You say that. I've had the best times of my life there, and some of the worst.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, because it's like the madness when you go and live there and you stay there the whole summer, and you start falling out with people and you start arguing, and you've been at it every night, and you know, like if things go wrong.
What people don't realise.
When they come on a holiday, and the people there
They're
for
just
10
having
days,
fun.
having fun. When you're living and working,
that's the
it's
thing.
totally
Working.
different.
Yeah.
Like you get caught up in politics, you get caught up in all sorts of things, like the politics and the arguments and the things. There is an underbelly there that no one sees.
Of course there is.
That when they go for a holiday, they just see the top end and the fun. They don't realise the work that goes
Well,
on
that has to
behind
go in
it.
to make that fun.
Yeah, it's true. I'd say I've had the best times and some of the worst times of my life there. Just, you know, but it's a weird feeling that when you come out of the airport there, you go, yes.
But this is one of the questions I ask.
When
It's the magic.
When they
It's the
unscrew
magic.
your head and stick 2 lumps of candy floss and a couple of toffee apples off and send you off. I don't know, you know what I mean? Things always go weird.
But for me, it's not eating. It is, like I said, the drugs and the music. But it's also got a magic, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. There's something about it. There's something about it. I mean, you know, I don't really go there as much now as I used to. Can't afford it, but you know, no. I mean, I'll go if that's you know, it's a bit like I don't really get the opportunity. The last time I went was for Alfredo's sort of funeral thing on the beach in January last year. But I'll probably try and stick over for a couple of days this year. But it has changed, but it's still. I tend to go looking for the things that I loved and liked years ago, and they're not always
they're not
there.
always the same, is it? Yeah. Listen, Ibiza's constantly evolving, isn't it?
I mean, it's like, you know, what I think of Ibiza is really different to what a 21-year-old thinks of it now.
I mean, one of your things is the milk bar. And I remember when I was doing Mad Mondays at Pasha, and you were doing a milk bar at the back bar. Fantastic.
Well, we did the milk bar. Like, I remember, like, it was weird. This would have been about 91, something like that. And what they used to do in Pasha was, because it wasn't always like it was. I mean, you were the first people to start charging people at the door there with the Mad Mondays thing. But at that time, Spain wasn't even in Europe then. This was pre-Europe, so it was potatoes.
Well, we had problems with La Passion. They shut us down, didn't they?
Thing, you know, and it was like, I remember when we had the bars and everything, I had to sort of smuggle the money out that we made. I had to give it to girls and buy them a flight home and say, take that to the bar in London. Just like going over there, nicking stuff full of cash, just because they wouldn't let you leave without too much cash. So anything you earned, you had to smuggle out the country. That was right. I mean, that all changed.
I mean, listen, no mobile phones, no internet.
There was no mobiles.
The
idea of a meeting in those days was like, well, I'll meet you down at Cafe Del Mar or Monte Sol or something like that.
Sunset, see you at sunset,
and it was like, and some days you couldn't remember when we said, like, was that today or yesterday when I said I'd meet them? Because you'd been out all night. You'd been out all night and you couldn't remember if you said you'd meet, all of a sudden it's the night time again.
I'm always amazed we got so much done. That's what I'm amazed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. How did we do it?
How did we do it,
if you rented a villa in those days, it was like, we had a villa or a house and everything. It was like twice the price if it had a phone line. Just if it had a landline. It'd be like, well, there's no landline. You have to go to the phone box down in the village, or so up in San Jose, or go to the phone box down by the church, And it wasn't, but like it went right up if the price of renting a place if it had a phone. It seems mad now.
And none of the villas ever had televisions, did they? They never had televisions, did they?
Also in those days. Yeah, but he did it, but it was all like that Scotch old. It was all like you'd turn it on, wouldn't you, on the telly, and it would just feel like he didn't know what was going on, wouldn't it? Just blokes with moustaches on the telly.
But it's completely changed now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Nicky, we ask lots of questions on this podcast. One of the questions I like to ask is, who's your
I never touched her.
Yes, you did. No, who's your favourite DJ?
Do you know what? Favourite DJ now? Do you know what? That's a toughie, isn't it? Because we can all be really good and really. I think everyone has good days and bad days.
Anyone stick in your mind?
Well, obviously Alfredo, because But again, Alfredo was sort of hot and cold on that. It was like, it would either be brilliant or pretty shit, and it was like that. And some people I'm like that. Sometimes it's just not happening and it's not working. And you can't wait to get off. And other times you just want to play the whole night. DJ, well, I mean, the thing is, it's really a hard question that, because people decided, I'm going to see that person, I'm going to see that person, I'm going to see that. Then they're going to think it's brilliant, whatever happens.
Yeah, because they're looking forward to that person,
Yeah, and they're not going to say it was rubbish or good. I mean, I'm thinking, if I played the same records as him, I'd be flopping. But you're all going...
but DJ's job's to keep people to dance. That's the first thing.
I think it's a little bit of not... it's sort of a strange mixture. It's a bit like fishing. It's like not trying to entertain all night and not trying to educate all night. It's like, you throw them a bone, you give them one they like, you give them one they half like, you give them one they don't know, then you come back in with something else. You're almost like sort of working it. You're reading the room, and because like you can go to a gig with a set of music in your head that you're going to play, and you look around you and you think, this ain't going to work. Yeah, and you have to bend
but that's
with
a proper DJ. A proper DJ.
You've got to read the room. You've got to read the room and see what and try a few things. I mean, I've literally had to. I have a sort of a folder of tracks, which is my get out of jail free card. Like in the old days, it was like... I
remember once, Space Terrace, you played Dancing Queen 3 times.
Did I? No, I never. I would never have played it 3 times. I would never have played it 3 times.
Twice then.
No, I might have played it
I think you want to wind up that.
I think it was late and it was a silly night. I don't remember doing that, but like... I would have played it once just for a giggle,
Yeah.
That was it. But I wouldn't have played it 3 times.
What's the longest DJ set you've ever done?
I used to play 6-7 hours all the time. Wow. Like, even with the Velvet Underground, I used to love playing long sets. DJs love playing more than they like being there. And to warm up for yourself, to build up for yourself, like, 6 or 7 hours in a DJ box ain't nothing to me. That's what we did. When you booked a DJ, like when I started in the 80s, you booked a DJ. That was it, one for the night. And now it's got this sort of this high octane thing where you didn't get a chance to experiment. Now you just got to be. It's all killer, no filler. And sometimes I like a night where it's a bit of both, and it goes like that. I like a little journey. Little journey. I like, I love it when a DJ comes in and kills the floor, and then builds it back up again. I mean, it's like what happens is now in today's world, it's like everyone's trying to top each other, and it can't go any higher. It can't go any higher. There's no ups without a down. And so sometimes I'll come on and completely kill it with something that they're not expecting, and start again.
But then you would need like a breather, right? Because if someone's just
playing
playing
Dancing Queen. I do remember playing it, but then I would have done it as a joke, but not 3 times.
That's a joke. I think it was. I think you were winding us all up.
And it would have been 30 years ago.
Going back to the music and also how you were describing like people just sort of playing like the energy of like maybe keep playing bangers and bangers. What I find with that, it can be quite exhausting. Like you need that kind of break.
That's it. You can't do it. I think it's good when a DJ plays, just something like you weren't expecting.
But that was Alfredo's great thing, wasn't
exactly.
it?
That was the thing with Alfredo. I mean, it's like we was at the time, we were totally into like black music and funk and all that sort of stuff, soul and all that, and then it was like, then the house would come along, his house, but then he would play pop records that we wouldn't have never thought of playing or dared to have played. Running Up the Hill, Kate Bush, and like Another One Bites the Dust, and like Nitzer Ebb, and all those things. Yeah, and I can remember like bless his soul, Nino. You remember Nino?
Yeah.
Pup's birth.
Yeah,
Father Christmas.
Yeah, Father Christmas. That's what everyone thinks it was him. Yeah.
I can remember him in his dungarees and that, and right at the end of the night, they played U2. I still haven't found what we're looking for, and it just like it was euphoric. But we would never have dared play that sort of music.
No, until you heard someone else do it.
And he never have played all those, like It's Immaterial and.
Well, I mean, his closing track for years in Amnesia was City Lights.
City Lights. We wouldn't have heard that if it hadn't been.
No.
And the Thrashing Doves, Sympathy for the Devil. That was it. And Jesus on the Payroll. That was one of the vocal versions.
Brilliant. I mean, the music. I mean, it's all about the music. So, I mean, that's where it all stems from.
But it's not. I think we would have been too biased coming from what we did, whereas this Argentinian bloke who moved to Spain didn't know who we were or about the English scene, just doing his thing, and it was like it just fell into it really, and it was just like this is different, and I suppose the year.
But I mean, you're part of the famous 4 that went out there back in the day with Danny Rampling, Paul Oakenfold, and Johnny Walker, and Johnny Walker, So I mean. You brought that sort of a bit of what he does back to Britain.
Yeah, it's just we basically we did Nicky's record box basically, But he became one of my best friends, he stayed with me and like had Christmas dinner around my mum's house a few times, and I've been through some ups and downs with him.
We're going to do a special. He will get one of it. He will go on the Hall of Fame. There's a few people. There's Jose Badilla as well. Obviously Brasilio as well. And my partner Tommy Mack's gone as well. We will do a special for the ones who are no longer with us.
Yeah, that's an idea. That's a good idea. Yeah. Gone but not forgotten.
Gone but not forgotten.
Just get some cutouts done. And interview them.
Yeah, they still belong on the Ibiza Hall of Fame.
That's the idea. Get cutouts done and interview them. And get people to do the voices behind it.
The other thing as well, What year was it that you first went to Ibiza? And when you got there?
I remember the season. You used to remember the season, so jumping ahead of you there. That's the ADHD kicking in. I remember you used to remember each year by the records, by the tracks that were big. There was always 2 or 3 tracks that you went home after the end of the season that just.
Well, I did the Decade of Ibiza, which you mixed one of them, and then what I did, as not being a DJ, being a promoter, I chose four tracks that I remembered from each year, and got you guys to mix it, and it was a good album, wasn't it?
I actually listened to that. I moved house recently, and I stuck it on, just like found a CD of it. It still sounds alright.
Well, they're all classics, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're all classics.
But there's some not obvious ones there on it as well. There was some different mixes on there that you don't hear now. It's not embarrassing to listen to that now.
No. And considering it's a long time ago now as well.
I mean, what, 20 or 30 years?
30 years, yeah.
That's soul I've got
the disc,
of that,
gold disc on the wall,
yeah.
And in the club night, the trip that you did at Astoria, is that something that you kind of created with Paul, sort of after your experience
Paul
in
was
Ibiza?
doing Spectrum, Danny was doing Zoom, and then I got the first they were doing Monday nights and like in a little place in Southwark, but I actually sort of managed to do the first big Saturday night, and it was no marketing plan, it was no sort of we all setting out to create this, and there was no big corporate money behind it. It was just timing. I mean, the only big style magazines and media in those days was like The Face and ID and Time Out.
Time Out, yeah. And the people used to read Time Out to find out where to go.
City Limits was another one, wasn't it? And that was about it. That was back and a couple.
But back then, I mean, you were doing the trip. I was doing Zigzag Club, but we're all doing our own thing, weren't we?
When we did the trip, though, right, it couldn't have landed better because I had done a few Special Branch parties in there, and I'm thinking, well, we might get 600, 700, something like that. So I kept the upstairs closed just to keep everybody downstairs because I didn't think we'd be busy enough. And it was within the first hour, it was full up. And then we opened up upstairs, yeah. And but what had happened there was both The Face and ID magazine had both done front cover big specials about this new thing, and that was like that. Monthly magazines come out about a week.
What year was that thing, Nicky? What roughly?
May
Late 80s?
87, 88, 88. Yeah, beginning in April, May. I think it was the May edition came out in halfway through April. To get longer shelf life on train stations.
And it was talking about the new Acid House.
What they always do, like a June version is available halfway through May in stations and airports and all that, because that's where they sell most of the magazines, stations and airports. And so they always, to get a longer shelf life, they come bring them out earlier.
Yeah.
It just so happened that we started on the last weekend of May, so it was in the June edition, which had come out
in May.
A week or so. It was like you couldn't have bought that sort of publicity.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't available. Yeah. So we had a bit of luck involved. Something was in a line. The
stars were aligned.
The spirits were in a line. Yeah, something like that. You know what I mean?
It must have felt incredible just to see like a sea of people.
Yeah, it was.
That was like celebrating your vision.
Yeah, it was. I remember standing there thinking to myself, it ain't going to get any better than this. This is great. Because not only was it like I was DJing at it, I was like, she kept taking the money as well for it.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and the trouble is you think it's never going to stop, and of course it does.
Well, listen, I've got a story relevant to you. I remember only once ever the hairs on the back of my neck had stood up, and I was at your bar in Pasha on one of my nights, Mad Mondays, looking out, and the whole place was just having it off.
Yeah.
Right? And the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and I thought, I've cracked it. I've completely cracked it.
What you did know is people don't realise this. So all the clubs, all the Spanish and all the people who went in there, they never used to pay to go in anywhere. No. You managed to get a queue out the door of English, because basically they didn't want the English people.
No, they didn't until I turned up.
They didn't want the English people, wasn't it? And then they did it moved from the queue, didn't it, to there? Yeah, and the Mad Mondays and the thing. And what happened was Ricardo, who's the boss at the side, he's got these people are willing to pay €20 or 25 pesetas or what was it, mils? Was it 5 mil or 4 mil to get in?
Yeah, 4 or 5 mil to get in. So yeah, 20, 25 quid-ish.
And they were there early as well.
Yeah, well, he loved it because even though some of them were drinking water, they were still spending money.
Because it was taking off in England. It was going back to we were selling what we got from Ibiza. We were selling back to them.
Well, this is one of the things I've been saying to people. People didn't realise when I first went to Ibiza. It was two different things colliding. It was the British house scene colliding with the Balearic beats and created something completely new.
And it went off for a couple of years there, and then it brought it back to, because there was a couple of lull years in Ibiza in the early 90s, but it wasn't so busy.
Well, I always say on the podcast, when I stuck 6,000 people in Pasha, all the other clubs were empty because the tourists wasn't the same.
There was, and then they realised, hang on, we're making more money out of the English because all the Spanish that was there, they always got a free drink off their mate behind the bar, and what they were very clever in there though, because what they do is, like you had the main club bit which they had the bars on, and when they opened up the rest of it in the main bit in the summer, they would rent one out, one Italian bloke, one to a Dutch bloke, one to a German bloke, one to a French bloke. I was the one who did the English thing. This is pretty.
I liked it when you did the milk bar in Pasha. I liked it. I thought it was great.
It was before that. It was like it's like. And again, when you had to have a meeting in Pasha, it was like he said, come down in the afternoon to Pasha and you had to go and talk to the boss. Yeah. And I used to pretend I didn't speak any Spanish and let them talk, so they think they're talking.
And did you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I knew what they were talking about. But like, there was no set time for the point. You turn up and you stand in a hallway upstairs. Yeah, along with the dancers and the gassy Fred man and the man who does the ice cube person and whoever does this. There's about 20 people in the hallway in the queue.
And you used to in Pacha, you used to push the button so you could see who's coming up.
And then it'd be like you just queue up in the hallway.
Yeah. It was funny. It was different. It was different. And all the clubs were the same. Amnesia, Coup.
They weren't actually. When you think about it, they weren't really that on the ball. Business-wise, they were no, they are now.
No, but even then, they were taking lots and lots of money.
Yeah, but they were a bit like behind the curve.
I mean, I remember Pepe, the money man from Pacha, saying to me, "We've broken our record again." Every week you go, "We've broken our record again." And,
Pepe was tall guy with the bald head. He was all right.
Really nice fellow.
Yeah. So we started renting the bar. We had it for a couple of years, me and Alfredo together. So we had Alfredo who was DJing. We did it three-way thing, and me and a guy called Oscar as well, who kind of lived next door to Pasha. And it was a bit of a weird sound because he would come in and set the bar up at 12 o'clock, and do the tills and all that, and get the start all there. Then I would come in at 2 o'clock with all the people and drag them all in. I just used to walk around the club bumping into people I knew and say, "Come and have a drink, give me a drink or nothing, come and have a drink, come and have a drink." And once you got a few people up to that thing, because it was the furthest away bar in there.
I like that bar at the back there. I liked it. Because you get a good view of the whole club. It was quite nice.
Yeah, it was all right. I always walk when I go in there. I haven't been there for years, but I learned a lot.
It's changed.
It's different now. It's just I don't like a club where when you can't. The last I went in there was a Fat Boy Slim thing about 5 years ago. No, just before lockdown. It was just so packed.
I always say
it was just you couldn't dance. All you do is hold your camera up like that.
I always say if you put 5,000 people in Pasha, it's great. You put 7,000 in, it's not. It just ruins it, doesn't it?
You can't get in the bar, you can't do that. You just like being pushed around and stuff. It's all right. And the funny thing is, you remember back in the Coup and Pasha and Amnesia days as well, everywhere had a big red crossed out thing with a camera on it. You weren't allowed to take pictures in clubs.
No, you weren't. No. Tommy always had his camera though. He always got away with it. Tommy, I don't know how he did, but he did. He always got away with it.
No, you know what? Because they all had a photographer in the club, and they would sell them to you. So they would take pictures and then give you a card, and you could then ring them and get the pictures. Yeah. See, now you put it on the website. Yeah. So but I think with the old camera phones now, I'll tell you a little funny Ibiza story. I lost my phone in space.
Mid-90s now.
Yeah, in space. And this would have been mid-90s. And I went just thought on the off chance. I wonder if So I went down to the back of the door at space in the afternoon, and said, "Let's just say." So the bloke took me in, and there was a lost properties little room, right, with a pile of sunglasses like that, a pile of passports, and a pile of phones.
That's mental.
Yeah, it was like
Everyone lost the plot.
it was like that. Which one do you want?
So Will, is this a lost property place?
Yeah, it was like the back of space.
Oh, in space. Oh.
Imagine it. Yeah.
Oh, how many people?
Huge pile of sunglasses, huge pile of fucking passports, and a huge pile. Yes.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing, you found it.
No, but it's like I was looking through all the others and all that. That's one. There was no control on it. It was just like people's passports.
Well, can you imagine the pickle that people
No,
get?
they wouldn't be able to do that. It'd be different now. But like, I mean, they must find so much stuff there, mustn't they? You know, when you're looking at like an iPhone or whatever, that's £500, isn't it? You know, or whatever.
So it's asking questions about your likes and
Yeah. So in our Hall of Fame, we kind of want to celebrate different businesses, small and big. In terms of restaurants, where is your most favourite place to eat in Ibiza? Where's your go-to place?
I'm probably still going to say the same one that I suppose everyone else says. Can't remember the name.
I'm not Javier. He was Javier saying Sacapella.
Yeah, Sacapella.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. I mean,
It's
I'm just for the venue.
If ever I mean, it's funny because it used to be up the road when there's nothing there. Now it's near a main road. But if ever I had to take, if I was showing off, if I was say there and then with a girl for the first time and I wouldn't take her to a restaurant.
No, I get that.
I would take her there.
A friend of mine proposed in Sacapella. Yeah.
I mean, there's something about it. And there's funny. There's one waiter that's been there since as long as I remember.
Well, Javier's got that. He owns
Has he owned that?
He bought it. Yeah.
Oh no, did he?
Yeah, he's bought it.
No, nothing there. I know.
He's taken over San Antonio.
Love him.
Yeah, he's taken over San Antonio.
He's a good
Some
man.
of these beach bars are unbelievable.
He's a good man. I remember the first night of the Radio 1 outside broadcast, Pete Tom's radio thing, and I was on and I was sort of running late and I was in Mambo. They hadn't sorted no lift out for me, the cream thing was it, and so he just grabbed the car and drove me up there to thing because it was a live broadcast.
Yeah, he's a good lad.
Yeah, he hasn't forgot where the people that started him off were loyal to him, because you know when that started.
I mean, he always, every time we're in company, he always says, "Oh, Alan and me invented the pre-party," which we did.
Yeah. You know, no, it's true. I mean, no, he hasn't forgot where he's come from, if you like.
And he's done really well for himself.
Yeah.
Also, what's your most memorable moment in Ibiza?
Oh,
there's so many parties.
Yeah, there's been.
Or do you have any more crazy stories?
No, he's got millions of
Too
crazy
many.
stories.
You know what it is? Someone can say something. There's tons of crazy stories, but someone can say something, and it reminds you of something. Madness, real thing. But like when someone says, "Can you pull one out the bag?"
Okay, so you must remember this one. What was the first gig you had in Ibiza? First gig,
The
place.
first time I ever actually DJ'd there would have been in the Star Club and the If Bar.
Okay, the If Bar was funny, up in the West End.
And Project.
Yeah, Project was great, wasn't it? That was a sort of, it was for us lot, that one.
Yeah, the Project Bar was like, you wouldn't
know it was there unless you knew it was there.
The last time I was there in San Antonio, I walked down, I think it's a tattoo parlour now.
Yeah.
And it's still got that little bit in the middle. It was decorated by the same people who did the Cafe Del Mar.
Yeah.
And Summers, yeah. So, and it's still there, the stuff's still there, but it's a tattoo parlour now. And it was a great little bar that fitted us perfectly, that did. And the Star, which is Eden now.
Yeah.
And there's Paradis.
Yeah, you see, after everyone poured out, we was going in the Star Bar, did cafe bit there, didn't we, afterwards for a little while, didn't we?
Oh, the can of germs.
If you weren't getting a space, you'd spend a few hours chewing it outside.
Star Cafe outside. Then they moved it up the road.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. That's another story.
That's the thing. When I walked around there was a good after-hours place in San Antonio years ago, called Manhattan's.
I remember.
That,
I remember at the back, the club at the back.
Yeah, right at the back of the town.
Yeah, right at the back of the town. Yeah. That's been gone a long time.
Getting all nostalgic now, looking back. And of course, nightlife. Nightlife was always a fallback, wasn't it? With Carlos and Tony.
The Glories as well.
Yeah.
There's a few places that have actually gone now, haven't they? They're not there. But yeah,
There's still a few tinsel things in the sign up.
Is there any establishment, whether it's a bar or a club, that's now not there, that you wish was there? Like you kind of gutted it's not there anymore.
Project would be one. Project Bar.
When did that close? What year?
Oh, I don't even know when it closed, but it was the early years that was.
But we've
it?
done parties. And that's very funny thing is where that Lestalius is now. Not Lestalius. Where's the place in the caves? Cova Centre.
Cova Centre.
Where that was.
You've been down there. You've been down in this.
Years ago, it was 1830s. Used to do trips there and like barbecues and meals things there. And we took 300 people there, and I got photographs of us all on the dance floor there in Cova Centre for like would have been 84, 85.
But it took years and years.
Yeah.
It's popular now. It's very popular. But it took them a long time to get that working.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was fantastic because I mean,
it's a great venue.
they've got, if you go down there, you've got the stagolites. You've got all the things. It's freezing cold in there as well.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? No, that's it. No, but it's like the room that's at the bottom, the indoor room. That's the one that I remember being. I walked in there. They've done a good job. It's a great venue, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic venue.
And if we take you back to your music, what are your 3 most favourite tracks? We're dying to know because we know that you've got so much music history.
It's like your children, isn't it? Which ones you choose?
It's like your 3 favourite girlfriends, isn't it?
But think about like the genres you played and each one. Which one was your favourite?
Well, I think Electric G-Burrow.
G-Burrow, yeah. So very, very Balearic beat.
Spain and Latino. And Kenny Jam and Jason, Can You Dance? Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, I know, yeah.
That's just off the top of the head.
No, listen, it's difficult. I mean, it's like...
It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
That's why we ask the question, because every DJ's got different answers.
It's one of them typical, it's a very typical interview, like journalist interview question.
Not that I know it.
Yeah, and they go, no, but what I'm saying is like you always on an interview, a magazine.
They want to know.
They always ask that question. The best club you ever been to, best club, and it always puts you on the spot. Yeah. And it's like because it's like to nail it down. Because then what happens is on the way home, you always think of. I'll be sitting there on the way home.
And you remember things I should have said that.
I should have said that. Yeah. You know, I should have said that. So it's better.
But I think there's so many different. I know that.
Allow me to change that before you put it out. We'll drop that bit in.
You can always add something in afterwards. So, who were your 3 main influences, say in Ibiza? Who really influenced you?
I mean, for me, I tell you who mine are. Mine was Javier and Brasilio. So to people that had some influence.
Add some value into your journey whilst you were there.
Can I change that question round to me to 3 best friends from it?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Well, one would have been Alfredo. One would have been Carlos Diaz. You know, Carlos Diaz was
which one?
from Nightlife.
Nightlife, yes. Yeah.
And the one, Oscar Lopez, who was my partner in the bar.
Okay. So 3 completely different people, other than Alfredo. A lot of
I've
people
got to throw Sid in. I've got to throw Sid in. Yeah, Sid Hadley. Bless him.
He went back to Liverpool, didn't he?
Yeah. So I haven't seen him for years, but like.
Well, I remember on my album, you actually recorded him. You recorded him saying about Ibiza. Yeah.
I see the Z in the name.
So that's
great guy, not a good guy going to business with because me and him were just messy. Just took the money out of the till, spent it, and the next day we go, we didn't get this, we didn't do that. There's an old saying as well. The only way to make a little bit of money in Ibiza is to go there with a lot.
It is. I mean, what people don't realise, partying, making money is hard.
You end up going home even. Everybody thinks everyone makes a fortune, and they have. Some people have made a lot of money out of it, but they're very clever. The old Spanish, they let you go home with just enough to make you want to do it.
Want to come back as well.
Yeah.
Just enough to make you want to come back. But listen, you go back because you love the place, don't you? That's it. But you know, making a bit of money is quite nice as well.
Yeah, and it promotes your things here as well, doesn't it? Yeah. So it's good to have one toe in it still. I mean, I don't really know. Last few times I've been there before, I haven't really gone to a club.
Club question for you. So, what's your favourite place to DJ in Ibiza?
I like Pikes.
Pikes, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You like that?
I like it since they changed it, made it like that.
It's still the same as it always was. They've changed it a little bit. Some of the rooms have changed, but it is still Pikes, which Tony built.
Easy for years. I haven't been to the new places.
But they have all changed inside. All the clubs. I mean, High is completely different to Space. Completely different.
I haven't been in there yet. No.
It's I think it's better because it's a nicer club.
I've not seen the place.
Obviously, it hasn't got a terrace, but it has got a terrace, but not.
I think the best
DJ.
looking club is probably the Cova Centre. I think it looks great.
And Esperadis is always beautiful.
Yeah.
Esperadis is always beautiful because of what he's done in there.
Yeah, I mean it stood the test of time. It don't look dated.
No, I mean it's an amphitheatre, isn't it? So it's very Roman.
Is Pepe and that still there?
He's still there. How about this? So I went out there last year and I did a pod with him. When I walked in there, he's 80 odd years old.
Yeah.
He's up a ladder.
Yeah.
He's up a ladder. He's still fixing it, still making it nice.
Yeah. No, you could.
That's
did
him.
you do one of them things?
Yeah, we did a podcast with him, and the reason why I want to do it with him, he's the only one left. He's the only one that started out. He still owns his club, and he's still going, and he's still up ladders fixing it. It's unbelievable, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
80 odd years old.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, and Javier's been trying to buy Esperadis for years.
Yeah, I bet he has.
And Pepe ain't going anywhere. He's going to have to die before.
Yeah, he will do, yeah. His son will sell it to him or something like that, won't it? Yeah. I used to love Space in the old days.
Yeah, the terrace, I only like the terrace.
The terrace, Space terrace in the old days.
It was special, yeah.
Yeah, but full well what started the terrace. It started as a bit of, not a joke, it was Alex and James Mitchell, wasn't it? Yeah.
James Mitchell gave up after 6 weeks, and Alex just carried on, didn't he?
No, it was a couple of croissants and some coffees and 4 people, and within a couple of years it became the busiest park, wasn't it? No one was inside, everyone was outside.
It was the cloakroom. It was the cloakroom.
It was just like a little bit on the side of renting it to him.
I mean, Alex actually said we've had Alex on. It was Alex did the music, he did the bar, he did everything, and he was
playing behind the bar. Wasn't
not only that, it was Alex when he walked in.
You DJ behind the bar. You was there with the barman.
Yeah, you had your back to the crowd, didn't you? Yeah. And Alex basically, he said, look, what about this area? Can't we do this outside? Yeah. He was the one who had come up with the idea.
So you've got to give it to him for that.
So Alex P's definitely...
100% on that one, yeah. No, you can't take that away. That's just like... it was like there was nothing out there. There was no one out there. No. Some people having, like sitting there, that's it. And then that bit got busy, and there was no one inside, and everyone was outside, weren't they? Yeah. And then it took off. Then the outside. Then they put them.
What do you reckon on now? I mean, I know you said you've not been out there so much recently. It has changed.
I haven't been out in the night time in Ibiza since before lockdown. I've only been there once since, and that was for Alfredo's thing. I might go this year. Yeah. Do you know what? No one books me though. That's the trouble. I'm a little bit like, well,
why not?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're different people now,
this
aren't they?
is.
I mean, we were speaking to Smoking Joe earlier, and she still does Glitterbox. She still does.
I don't ask, do they? So perhaps they'll know.
Maybe when they see this, they might.
Though, because you're an icon and you've had a lot of history.
If I was to get on the phone and throw myself out there, and something could happen. But don't know what I'd mean to. No, the thing is, I'm pretty sure that if I did something out there, I could rustle up. I mean, because I know a lot of people that live there still as well. They'd all come out for a night out. Actually, last time I played there properly was with Paul Oakenfold at Pikes.
So I know from the younger generations that a lot of people say to me, especially around people that are about 25 years old, they always say to me, I wish I could have danced or raved in the 90s. Have you ever thought of taking the trip, which you did in the late 80s, over to Ibiza, like sort of
a revival?
Because people want that.
I mean, I'm going to do some revivals because I've always steered away from them and not bothered to do them. But I've done a little milk bar one.
That went down well, didn't it?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, it was a good little one. And I probably should do because people are asking for it. Yeah.
People like going down memory lane. It's their youth. It's what they were.
I might do something on a birthday.
Yeah, well, let us know. Keep us updated if you decide.
The whole reason for us being here today, and you being here with us, is to induct you into the Ibiza Hall of Fame. It's a very well-deserved young man.
Oh, it's going to look good on the bus going home, isn't it, carrying that?
There you go.
Oh, that's all right. That'll come in handy.
And also, it's this 12-inch, like a 12-inch record.
That's all right. I like that.
So you can have the non-shiny or shiny.
It's tough cool, isn't it? But it's a mirror then.
It's a mirror, yeah. That's what I was thinking. That's what.
That's not a tough paper round, isn't it?
So yes, it's been a privilege having you with us today. You are a true Ibiza
It's always nice to
icon.
see me.
It was amazing hearing your journey, your stories. So thank you for being with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So that's all from us at Ibiza Hall of Fame podcast. Remember to like, subscribe and to follow us on all of our platforms. See you soon.